Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. And by the video title, you know what this video is about. Who should the Pittsburgh Steelers hire as their new offensive coordinator? I got a few names on the list right here that people I think maybe do a great job to be offensive coordinator. You can leave names down below in the comment section who you think the Steelers should hire. But the breakdown, what I think the Steelers really need, scheme-wise, they need a coordinator who's going to call an offense that's run-based. Yeah, it ain't got to be super heavily run-based, but it got to be run-first type team. You know, run-based team that sets up a lot in the passing game that creates spaces and mismatches for our receivers and playmakers on the outside to make things happen. Because I feel like our playmakers have been limited to some of this route tree that Coach Canada was doing. And, you know, I know what's the name, the interim offensive coordinator, Sullivan and them, that they like teamed up together and did the little play call, and they did a pretty good job. But I feel like they still limited our playmakers on the outside, like all the short routage, the out routes, and you know, like some of the curls and all that crazy stuff that's like just like everything just kind of like 3 to 5 yards instead of them actually pushing the ball down the field. We've seen what happened. We actually can push the ball down the field when you have George Pickens going out there and scoring those big touchdowns. When you have Denzel Johnson using his quickness and shifty ability to get to the outside. When you have Calvin Austin, you finally use his 4.3 speed, let him get out there and open some things up and attack the middle of the field using Pat Freiermuth, using Darnell Washington more in the passing game, using Najee Harris more in the passing game because his rookie season he was pretty good. He caught like 50 plus. He caught 54 balls in I think in the rookie season, if I'm not mistaken. And he went out there and he scored some touchdowns. He was lined up as a receiver a few times. I remember that one game against the Seahawks on Monday night when he lined up on the outside as a receiver and he caught it and scored a touchdown. Najee Harris was utilized more in the passing game, and Jalen Warren, we see him utilized more too as well. So I feel like we need a scheme that kind of like, you know, is running first, but also allows the playmakers to get the ball in their hands, like kind of the 49ers do with some of their guys. You see, like, they run first team with McCaffrey and all those backs they have back there. You know, Deebo Samuel coming back there as well, but they also allow their playmakers to get the ball in their hands in space, crossing routes down the middle, up the seam, and you see the different ability of being able to like attack that part of the field and just open up a lot of mismatches for teams. I feel like that's a scheme that we kind of need for our team. The first candidate though is Gerard Johnson. Gerard Johnson was a former quarterback. He played quarterback in the NFL. Mostly as a backup, as a guy just filling in, like as a backup type. But he mostly was known for his college career, you know, being the quarterback at Texas A&M. Gerard Johnson has transitioned over. He's only 35 years old. Transitioned over to being an offensive assistant, basically a little bit, and then he eventually became the quarterback's coach for C.J. Stroud and the Texans, and you see C.J. Stroud going out there playing phenomenal football, and plus him being like younger too as well. Him being around the age of some of the players is going to help out a lot. He played football too as well too, being the all-time leader in passing yards for the Texas A&M, and also the all-time leader in total yards for Texas A&M as well. So him being like around their age a little bit, some of the players' age, and being close to their age can maybe resonate more with the players. And him, you know, the young minds too in the offensive game has opened up a lot of things. We've seen a lot of abilities for them to utilize the quarterbacks and kind of expand their game and make their game easier. You look at the Kyle Shanahan offenses, you look at Sean McVay, you know, they have quarterbacks who are good, but they make their job easier. So you see the best of them because it's like they ain't got to go out there and try to like like just make something out of nothing with what the coach is giving them. So I feel like him going out there and open, because Texans passing game is attack. Of course we know what's his name? Slowick. Slowick, the offensive coordinator. Of course, he opened up a lot of things too as well. But those guys, him being part of that group, and like you seeing C.J. Stroud, his improvement from week 1 to now, you seeing like working with the quarterback coach, staying on par, pushing the ball, knowing when to take shots, take chances, and his accuracy and touch on the ball. I mentioned before in the pre-draft, I feel like he was kind of like Aaron Rodgers a little bit. On his own way, he can like release that ball and the flick of the wrist. It looks so effortlessly, and it look just beautiful and pure when the ball is in the air. So you look at how he's been working with Coach Johnson this entire time through the season, and you see him improving in little aspects in the pocket, outside the pocket, and just the timing and just getting consistent. And now you see him just on a different level, just firing on all cylinders. And I feel like if you want a quarterback to get coached up and get a quarterback kind of like to that level, if you want to draft a quarterback, Gerard Johnson could be the approach you go as an offensive coordinator, because he'd be able and willing to be more. He's quarterback friendly. He's more quarterback driven, quarterback friendly. So he'd be willing to kind of like bolster a quarterback, to boost a quarterback, and put him in the spots that he'd be comfortable, and it'd be like something fresh too, a fresh start as OC. And we see what he has the potential to be limitless. Of course, he don't have any he don't have any history of being an offensive coordinator. Yeah, of course, that's the whole point of getting a shot and opportunity. People always say they don't have any experience of doing this. Well, they never have experience. They never get a chance. This could be his chance right here, and he can go out there and shine, or it could be maybe not go out there and shine like that. Maybe be bad. But I think the way his ability is and the way he's been doing things with the Texans organization, he'll go out there and do a pretty good job. The next candidate I have on the list is, of course, a good old guy, Brian Leftwich. Brian Leftwich was a quarterback for us. Of course, he played for the Steelers, but he's also been a coach for the past. He's been a coach for a little while. For the past few years, he joined the Buccaneers coaching staff back in 2019, and you see the numbers how they improved. The year before, the Buccaneers was averaging 24 points per game, like that, kind of like below average, kind of like around like the like middle of the pack, or below the middle like that a little bit. But he came in 2019. The total offense was ranked third when he got there. His first year there was ranked third. In 2020, they was third in scoring. In 2021, it was first in points per game. And they also that's when Tom Brady had that year where he almost won the MVP. He was second team All-Pro and finished second behind Aaron Rodgers in the MVP race as well. And he also helped the Buccaneers. He was part of that Super Bowl team. Coach Leftwich. Coach Leftwich did a good job in just going out there and just opening things up. His offense allowed a lot of space, and you see Tom Brady look better than ever. And with the Patriots, of course, he still had some good seasons. I think his last season with the Patriots, he threw 27 touchdowns to like 8 interceptions, which is still good. But he got to, of course, the Buccaneers, and you seeing his numbers just shoot up out of like a cannon a little bit. You're like, oh, he threw 40 touchdowns? He threw 40 touchdowns, I think, back-to-back years, if I'm not mistaken. And that was some of the most touchdowns he threw in a while. And you just see how they open things up. They used a lot of the receivers on the outside, got them guys vertical. They let Mike Evans get vertical, Chris Godwin get vertical. All these different guys they had on the roster. Even when they had Scotty Miller, the speedster, let them get vertical. They let so we have George Pickens, we have Kev Austin, we got Deontay Johnson. Let those guys get vertical down the field, and they open a lot of things up. A lot of play action pass to open things up, to create a lot of spaces down the field, so it made teams guard them differently because it was firing on all cylinders down the field, so open up some gaps to run. They never had the best of best running backs. They have one now, Rashad White, but they had Leonard Fournette. He was pretty good when the playoff time came, but he was never like on a level of he was never like the best of the best with them, because he had most of his good years with the Jaguars, but he still was able to be effective, and they were able to run the ball and kind of keep it like it was more pass heavy, of course. But they still was able to run the ball, and just especially when teams have to step back, they can't load the box, they have to step back. It kind of create a lot of different spaces. And when we have a guy like Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, they're going to open up a lot of gaps for them to go run freely, and going to make the team just be on a different cylinder, fire on a different cylinder. But one thing about their offense, you need a quarterback who can get the ball there, who can push it. So they had Tom Brady. He had James Winston before too, where he threw 5,000 yards and 32 touchdowns, but also had 30 picks as well. But he still had 33 touchdowns. And they had Tom Brady, who threw for 40. He threw for 40 something, 30 something, and then 40 something, and then 20 plus, I think 26, I think 25 last year too as well. So he had a guy who can push the ball down the field, who can give it to those guys. So you're gonna need. We have the weapons for it, Pat Freiermuth and the GP, Deontay Johnson, Calvin Austin, but I don't know if we have the quarterback to get the push the ball down the field. Now Mason Rudolph showed he can use the deep ball ability, and he can go out and field and push it. They want to roll Mason Rudolph again. Kenny Pickett has shown us a little bit sometimes, but still inconsistent throughout the whole time of being like a deep ball thrower and being a quarterback in general. Or they go a veteran approach to bring somebody else in. But I think Brian Leftwich would be a good addition, but you're going to need that quarterback who can put that ball out there, because if not, it's not going to really work fully effectively, because it's going to be limited to certain things you can do. Another guy who's on the list is Clint Kubiak. I don't know if Clint Kubiak is related to Gary Kubiak or not. He might be. He might be maybe his son or something. I don't know exactly. But Clint Kubiak, he's the passing game coordinator for the 49ers. He served as offensive coordinator in 2021 for the Vikings. Kirk Cousins threw 33 touchdowns that year, the 7 interceptions that year as well. But his offensive scheme is he's the passing coordinator. So right now, he's kind of help with the passing game. You see how Brock Purdy and those guys are, the 49ers in the passing game. Everything is on time. Everything is on time. It's everybody's in sync. Everybody is one. So you see all the crosser routes. They put the ball in playmaker hands. You see when they do certain screen passes, they put the ball in Chris McCaffrey hands in space. They put the ball in Deebo Samuel hands on crosser routes in space. George Kittle up the seam routes in space. Kind of just feeding the playmakers and making things happen. And sometimes the quarterback, of course, can make things happen too as well and shine. But everything just feel like it's is like just creating space like that. A lot of diversion to get people to draw certain ways. You might throw a fake screen this way and come back the other way and throw a screen that way. You might do a sweep to get a guy open that way. You might look this way and roll out to throw it that way. So like different things just to get guys open in space to make them make plays, and which the Steelers could use because the Steelers used to be very good at that and getting the ball to Le'Veon Bell to make plays in the passing game and in the rushing game as well. And also Antonio Brown, he's creating a lot of space, being the ability to create space with him. But then when you had Juice Smith-Schuster there with them paired together, it made like a lot of like mismatches for teams because teams was very had a very hard time in trying to stop both of those guys. So I feel like if the Steelers was to get one of these coordinators, I think the safest bet to go with is probably Clint Kubiak because of the things he's done with the 49ers and things he's done as offensive coordinator with the Vikings as well, like that, and success of being able to adapt with different style of quarterbacks too. Brian Leftwich would be a cool addition to get too, but you're gonna need that quarterback who can sling it down the field, like the gunslinger quarterback who can push it down the field to open up and create that space that he wants, the spacing down the field. And Jared Johnson, I might be saying his name wrong. Gerard Johnson, probably is his name. Is a cool addition too if you added him because it's a fresh start. It'd be like somebody who getting the chance to be offensive coordinator for the first time. If I'm not mistaken, I think this would be his first time as the OC. So it'd be a fresh start. You'd be like to see what he has available, what he's gonna do, and how he's gonna be able to shape an offense out and stuff. So it'd be fascinating, and you see the potential of him going out there and doing that. So I feel like either these guys would be a great addition. Of course, there's a lot of other guys too as well that you can maybe look at. We can look at what's his name, the one from the I think he coaches the it's the quarterback coach for the Rams. I forgot his name like that, but it's some different guys around the league and stuff. I think his name's Shane Guy. I think he coached a little bit the Rams, something like that. But I think it's Shane Guy. But it's a lot of guys. You can leave the conversation down below. Different guys you think who should be filling in for the offensive coordinator for the Steelers and who will be the best addition. That's all I got for the video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you would like and subscribe for more content. I will probably be uploading a few videos, maybe like a short video, something like some of the playoff games, doing reaction to those, and then probably on the Sunday, probably doing some reactions to those as well. And then we'll have a lot of things coming next week. More Steeler content. It's the off season now for the Steelers. Of course, I still cover the entire NFL as well, and the NBA too as well. But it's the off season, so now we got a lot of these videos of going through these reports, these rumors, these ideas that maybe the Steelers could do to improve their team. And different things going on. So it's kind of deciding side a little bit by the offseason. Of course, we wish we were still in the dance, of course, but next year we hopefully can get better and get back to that level of being the Steelers. But that's all I got for the video today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel.